How'd that get in there?
You know what we gotta do now?
Oh boy.
Hey, it's Ramey and Dustin here at the UMI Race Shop. We have a new project to talk about. Dustin?
Yeah, I see we pulled in this new GMB body Caprice right here, this cream puff.
How's it handle?
Absolutely terrible. It handles like a land yacht.
So we added a bunch of new products for the 1978 to 1996 GMB body. A-arms, trailing arms, coilover kits, sway bars, basically the whole package. So I think you should get to work installing this today.
Well, I guess there's only one thing to do.
Let her rip.
Smells like victory. Well, at the start of any project, the first thing you gotta do is get the car up in the air so you can see what you're working with. All right, we're gonna start out by getting the wheels and tires off this car so we can check out the old clapped out suspension we're gonna replace. So we start out by taking off the brake calipers, hanging them with a piece of TIG wire, which is a really good tool in the shop. So after we get the brake calipers off, we're still working on the front end here, getting all the tie rod ends knocked loose. Good idea to have a pickle fork sometimes if you get one that's jammed up. We're removing the old sway bar end links. Cracking loose the spindles. Make sure you hold the bottom side so the spring doesn't fling the lower arm. Get that old nasty spindle out of the way. Are you ready for an explosion?
Yep, good.
All right, everybody stand back.
I'll be good on the next gear.
Stand back and hope for the best when getting the springs out. That can be tricky under pressure. Now the spring's out of the way, let's knock these A-arms out, lower A-arms. Really the only thing left is the upper A-arms, so we'll knock those out, get them off the car. Then we got all the front disassembled, so we're gonna head to the back. Start off by getting the shocks off the rear. You may need to support the rear to get the shocks out. There's not much to disassembling the rear end. A few simple upper and lower trailing arms, along with the shocks and springs. Then the last little bit is the rear end housing bushings if they need replaced as well. And obviously those are garbage, so we're gonna throw some new ones in.
Now that the guys got the old greasy and rusty stuff out of the way, we're going to install this brand new, nice, shiny, high performance UMI kit. Now we'll start installing the A-arm kit. The kit includes both upper and lower front A-arms. Here you can see the guys are installing the lower arm. Sometimes the bolts require a little bit of tapping to go in. So the lower arm features strong tubular construction, greasable polyurethane bushings with flutes, so the grease goes from the grease fitting to the face, nice and quiet. Polyurethane bump stop, double shear sway bar mount. So this is the sway bar mount kit that comes with it. It has a high misalignment rod end on the bottom, and then a polyurethane bushing on the top on the sway bar side. Comes with a sleeve kit. Upper A-arms, once again, strong tubular construction, chromoly cross shaft, smooth Delrin bushings, and the big thing that the UMI upper A-arms do is increase caster, which improves on-center feel, gives the car a nice steering feel, and it adds camber gain while turning, which translates to better handling for your ride.
What better way to go and attach both A-arms together than a hybrid Viking coilover setup?
We have a Viking A225-550R kit that fits the GMB body perfectly. 78 through 96, 550 spring rate is the most common for that application. These shocks are also double adjustable, so you can change your compression and rebound.
So before you throw that old factory pesky spindle in the way, it's a good idea to remove your bump stop and get a couple extra turns on your Viking coilovers while there's nothing in the road.
The nice thing about the Viking coilover is it doesn't take a spring compressor. You can put the shock in fully extended, put the spring in, and then when you tighten the upper biscuit, you're almost ready to go. Simply swing the lower A-arm into place and install the bolts, and your spring is installed. When you're getting ready to put the car on the ground, you should run the collar up maybe 4 or 5 or 6 threads, and then the car will sit proper enough that you can get the ride height dialed in after that.
Now that we've got the coilovers installed, we got the spindle on, everything's tight, we'll throw the sway bar on so we can get those end links hooked up.
The front sway bar is a direct bolt in. It's 1 3/8 diameter, much larger than factory. It fits in the exact factory location. It also includes either the end links that come with the kit, or if you buy the sway bar separately, it includes double poly end links. The bracketry goes on in the factory location and fits nicely, greasable, ready to roll. As you can see, Dustin's running the jam nuts up so the biscuits are just slightly compressed. Then he's putting the rod end on, which is nice because then you can adjust the length of the end link. Now they're greasing everything with either Super Lube or any other brand of premium synthetic. All of the UMI products feature fluted designs and are fully greasable, so you don't have that annoying squeaking that often comes with inferior polyurethane bushings. So what we end up with is a premium made in USA heavy-duty suspension that features Viking coilovers to give that car a great ride and great handling and full adjustability. Dave and Dustin are installing the 1/4 inch thick safety loop. It's NHRA legal. It prevents the drive shaft from digging into the ground if you break the front yoke, or if you break the rear U-joint, it also prevents the drive shaft from coming out from underneath the car. All of the hardware is included, and as you can see, it's a direct bolt-on installation.
So as you can see on this old B-body, the rear end housing bushings were pretty well jacked, so we slapped a new set in.
The rubber bushings can get beat up after 20 years on the car, so we have a nice polyurethane solution, tightens the car up a little bit.
The trailing arms we decided to use on the back of this B-body are an extended version of the factory to help center the wheel and the wheel well. After we greased the face of these rear end bushings, sliding in the adjustable upper trailing arms was quite easy.
UMI has designed some unique double shear upper mounts to hold the upper part of the coilover. This allows a true racing style rod end on the shock. Gives great adjustability, nice ease of assembly, and it's just a really nice piece. We have a Viking spring, Viking shock, helper spring. When the shock goes in the upper double shear mount, the bolt slides right in, and then when you tighten it down, it makes a nice swivel situation on the shock. And then it's also double shear on the lower mount in true racing style fashion. The 3621s are also plus 5/8 of an inch longer to help center that wheel in the wheelhouse. Extended length trailing arms are commonly used on 1994 to 1996 Impala SS's or cars with the same wheel opening shape as those on our Caprice build. Some nice reinforced sway bar holes, strong rectangular construction, greasable polyurethane bushings. Overall, just a great improvement for your GMB body.
After the trailing arms got installed, next thing to do, we threw the sway bar on.
Often the big GMB bodies came without a rear sway bar. So we have an 1 1/8. Together, these two help the B body corner much flatter and make the car much more nice to drive. Our heavy-duty sway bar fits in the stock location and also fits, of course, the UMI extended length trailing arms. We have an adapter kit that you can use our heavy-duty sway bar if you're using factory arms. It allows you to drill a few holes and adapt the UMI sway bar right to your existing arms. As you can see, the sway bar follows the contour of the axle housing, tucks up in nicely, and really makes for a good flat cornering layout in the Caprice. So our Caprice build, which also fits other GMB bodies, includes upper and lower A-arms with increased caster, a heavier front sway bar, in this case our coilover kit, which features Viking springs and shocks and UMI bracketry, a drive shaft loop. It includes rear trailing arms both upper and lower, new polyurethane bushings in the axle housing, a heavy duty rear sway bar, and all necessary hardware.
What do you think of that, Ramey?
That's sitting pretty awesome, Dustin. No more land yacht.
No more land yacht.
This thing is going to handle pretty awesome with the 78 to 96 GMB body kit on it. This thing's going to rock.
I hope so, because I'm ready to drive this thing.
Let's get it off the lift.
Let's get it off. So obviously, when we did the suspension on this car and put the coilovers, we really wanted to have a really nice stance, and we weren't going to be able to do that with the factory wheels and tires. Got a hold of our guys at Summit, got some REV wheels, a good tried and true combination on these cars. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Did a little body work, got rid of some side molding, tinted the windows, added the real subtle Impala SS wing, just to tie the car all together to make it, look a little bit cooler and, just the way that it drives, make it look a lot nicer. It really is fun to drive, and it has the coldest air conditioner you'd ever imagine.